Sigamos orando, hermanos. Let's keep praying for everybody that is not here. Oramos por los hermanos que no están aquí, que están enfermos. Sigamos orando unos por otros y pidiendo al Señor por bendición. Entonces, hermanos, bienvenidos una vez más. Siéntase, reciba un caluroso bienvenida y que al salir de aquí, mi hermana que nos visita, mis hermanos que también salen para Houston y mis hermanos, cada uno siéntase como en casa. Vamos a alabar al Señor esta mañana, ¿ok? Entonces vamos a pedir a nuestro hermano Steven que va a traer un himno congregacional, hermanos. ¿A quién le gustan los himnos? ¿A quién le gusta cantar himnos?
Kind of.
Les gusta los himnos, los coritos, la contemporary. Es como cuando vas al restaurante, a usted le gustan enchiladas, tacos, pizza, todo eso. Bueno, la hermana Steven nos canta, nos va a dirigir el himno número 222.
We're gonna be in the red hymnal today. Yes, the red hymnal, and it'll be in number 222. We're gonna be singing about how great our God, how wonderful our God is. Que maravilloso es Dios. That God never ceases to amaze each and every one of us. When we're feeling down, we just gotta rely on God to just show up and show off how amazing He is in each and every one of our lives. That's right.
¿cuántos cabellos tenemos? Nadie de nosotros, pero Dios conoce cada uno de nosotros. Hermanos, vamos a hablar al Señor porque Él nos conoce y Él nos ama. Yo pido a los hermanos que pasen, vamos a recibir las ofrendas. Una manera de alabar a Dios es a través de los diezmos y ofrendas. Dice que Dios ama la obra alegre. God loves the cheerful giver, right? De gracia recibiste, demos de gracias, hermanos. Yo creo que una manera de confiar en el Señor y de alabanza es a través de los diezmos y ofrendas. Como experiencia, hermanos, yo aprendí a adorar al Señor a través de mis ofrendas y Dios nunca me ha fallado. You know, when you learn the principle of giving, you know, you make a big step forward and you pay it back. Okay, vamos a orar, hermanos, por esta ofrenda. Padre bendito, Dios de amor, en esta hora yo te pido bendición por la ofrenda, por aquellos que también dan online, Señor, también que no están presentes en este momento, que también puedan contribuir a través de sus ofrendas. Lord Heavenly Father, thank you for this moment that we send our gifts or tithes and offerings to you, Lord. That you bless everyone here, those who are here, those who give through the online giving, also a special blessing for all of them. Thank you, Lord, for this morning. Gracias por esta mañana. Jesús te lo pedimos y todo lo que Jehová dice. Amén, amén, amén. Se va levantando la ofrenda, los colmos, los vayas preparando, hermanos Rosales. Quiero que especial a todos ustedes que contribuyen para la obra, hermanos, todos aquellos que contribuyen. Sin ustedes no será posible la obra del Señor aquí en este lugar. Dios ha sido bueno, Dios nos ha bendecido. Sigamos dándole al Señor lo que es del Señor.
LSU people, and they're
that's the LSU dude. I know the LSU dude, the pitcher. Okay, I know that.
said
dude.
LSU.
Okay, yeah. You gotta say that. You didn't say that.
I said it. I said 3 times. He went to LSU, Michael Phelps.
I'm Freddie Coleman, and coming up on Monday, who is facing more pressure heading into the NFL this season? Justin Fields in Chicago or Jordan Love in Green Bay? You'll hear my answer at 6 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and ESPNU.
Hey, Jen, sorry I'm late. I had to stop for gas. Yeah, I can't believe how much it costs for gas now. I know. Everyone's still talking about how much gas is, but I never pay full price. I just use the free Upside app, and I get cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid real cash when you buy gas with the Upside app? Yeah.
Promo code WIN8 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus in your first tank. That's code WIN8 for 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, y'all. My name is Sierra, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and the little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the Spicy Chicken Biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Made in America, highest quality, locally owned business. That's Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. This is Chris Connecticut with Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. There's a reason Dave Ramsey says a Connecticut is a wise investment for your home.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it.
It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association.
The Connecticut is made right here in America, has the best warranty in the industry, and is the wise investment for your home. Plus, you can try a Connecticut water system for 90 days absolutely free with no contract. Call us at 656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Whether you're planning a backyard barbecue, a dinner party, or just looking to unwind after a long day, Texas Cheer Liquor has you covered. Visit Texas Cheer Liquor today and experience the best selection and service in the Lone Star State. Texas Cheer Liquor.
This is the story of Daniel, who was born 2 months early. He weighed 1 pound, 7 ounces. His lungs weren't ready. His heart wasn't ready. His brain wasn't ready. At the hospital, the nurses said Daniel was a fighter, and they would do all they could to help him. The doctor said even with the best care, Daniel may never walk. He may never see. He may never learn. Daniel's parents spent night after night at the hospital, watching his every breath, holding his tiny hands, and looking for signs that he was growing stronger. At home, his parents looked around Daniel's empty nursery, at the quiet toys and the still rocker, and they hoped that one day they could sit in that rocking chair and tell this story to their very healthy son. Daniel's is just one of the more than 500,000 stories of babies born prematurely last year. But there's hope for a happy ending. The March of Dimes is funding the research and programs to stop premature birth. You can help bring more babies home healthy. Learn how at marchofdimes.com. Working together for stronger, healthier babies.
Hey, where were you last year? If you think going back to school is tough for an 8-year-old, imagine doing it while recovering from cancer. CureSearch.org is a website that can help. CureSearch.org. You're not as alone as you feel. Brought to you by CureSearch and the Ad Council.
This is San Antonio's ESPN 1250. The home of the NBA Finals. This is SportsCenter.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. It's the first Sunday of play at Wimbledon. On the women's side, Jess Pegula of Buffalo, the 4th seed, advancing to the quarterfinals with a straight sets victory over Alessia Sharenko of Ukraine. On the men's side, 10th seeded American Francis Tiafoe beaten in straight sets by 21st seed Grigor Dimitrov. ESPN's first ball to last ball coverage continues on ESPN until 1 p.m. Eastern, and then it's over on ABC. Wait a minute. Did I say first ball to last ball coverage? I meant first bottle.
Lot 15. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you are opening a bottle of champagne, don't do it as a player who comes to serve. Thank you.
Oh, you love that. That's from an Australian umpire. John Blom is looking after this match. It's the most Wimbledon warning I've ever heard.
There you go. First bottle to last bottle coverage right here on ESPN. Earlier in London, Max Verstappen wins the British Grand Prix Formula One, holding off a couple of Englishmen, Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton, who wind up second and third. Eric Almirola has the pole for Sunday night's NASCAR race in Atlanta. And in the NBA, details of the first in-season tournament were released Saturday. All 30 teams will be involved, with the winning players earning $500,000. In San Antonio, top pick Victor Wembanyama will be in action later on today against Portland in the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas. You can watch at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 and the app.
I'm Freddie Coleman, and coming up on Monday, who is facing more pressure heading into the NFL this season? Justin Fields in Chicago or Jordan Love in Green Bay? You'll hear my answer at 6 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and ESPNU.
There is a very good case to be made that Shohei Ohtani's coming off the greatest month in Major League Baseball history.
Ohtani with his Major League leading 30th home run of the season.
The floor for Shohei Ohtani's free agency is going to start at $500 million. He's also going to want to win, and that's why the next few months for the Angels are critical if they're going to have any chance to keep him.
Either you trade him and get something, or you let him go and get a mediocre draft pick.
It is Sunday morning here with Matt Myron on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. Now joined right here before the All-Star break with Buster Olney, ESPN's Major League Baseball insider. He'll be part of the Home Run Derby coverage for ESPN. Buster, I want to get to the Home Run Derby, but it was with you on here a couple months ago that before he debuted, I brought up Ellie De La Cruz. Myron and my producers were like, why would you talk about this guy so much? And now he's come in and he's hit for the cycle, and he stole 3 bases in 30 seconds yesterday. He's not even played 30 games yet. Has he been – okay, so I'm a homer, right? I'm a Reds guy. But you're objective. Has he been as amazing as you thought he would be, and what are we witnessing right now with the young Red?
Yeah, I can't pretend that my expectations would have met what we've seen so far. I was excited about it. I'd heard so much about him. I remember talking to Nick Kroll, the general manager of the Reds, in spring training about him. And he spoke very hopefully. I didn't mention to you the comparison he made was with Eric Davis, of those 1980s Reds, the power and speed combinations. But he's gone way beyond that, to the point that last week, when I first heard that Major League Baseball had extended an invitation for him to do the Home Run Derby, it was like, wow, okay, we're good.
Wait a minute, wait. They did do that?
In the Derby? I'm sorry?
So they invited him? I didn't know that. They did invite him?
Yes, they invited him to be in the Derby, and he turned it down.
Oh,
and he talked
I
about,
didn't know that.
Which will make you feel good as a Reds fan. He talked about he wanted to focus on what the team was doing and trying to win this year, and I'm just like, yeah, that's all great, but I want the Derby to be great, and Ellie De La Cruz would have been so much fun. I mean, yesterday, and we're talking about his home run power now, and what he did yesterday, nobody in baseball has seen that, in the way that he stole third base and home plate on one pitch. And you have to really go back and watch the replay of it to understand exactly what he did.
Buster, let me tell you, Myron earlier in the show was downplaying it, Buster, and he said that he could do it. He said he could have done the same thing because the Brewers weren't paying attention.
Buster, let me explain.
Oh.
I'm a Brewers fan, so there's a little personal attachment to this and what happened. I don't know what Elvis was doing. I think it was poor field awareness more than Ellie's talent. And my whole thing is, I think he's great. But, Buster, you've seen a lot of great debuts, right? It's about the longevity. And I think we got to just slow down on crowning him as the greatest thing, maybe since Griffey or something like that.
Well, I will tell you this. I will never forget Mike Trout's first year in the big league, talking to Billy Beane. And I said, hey, what do you think of Trout so far? And he said, you mean the best player in baseball? And I said, you mean the best player in the Angels? He goes, no, the best player in baseball. He's a month into his career, and Billy Beane's saying, this guy is so unbelievable. And I remember talking to a major league manager, it might have been Dusty Baker at the time, and asking him about that. And Dusty looked at me and said, hey, pump the brakes a little bit. The guy needs to be in the big league. And I feel like we're having the same conversation now where it's like, no, he's pretty special, and I don't know if I'm ready to put him in the top 10 players, but I do think we're seeing right away his impact. And I can't remember the last time Trout didn't do it. I don't think Aaron Judge did it. I don't think any player that I've seen since I started covering baseball energized a fan base and a team the way that Ellie De La Cruz has.
I was at his opening game, and it's gone from I would literally bring books to the game to every Reds game is a rock concert, and that's happened in 6 weeks. It's unbelievable to see since he's been there. And I'll note, he's hitting 340, and he's still not even hitting the ball that well yet. All right, so let me ask you about the dude that is the best player right now, which is Shohei Ohtani. At the end of the year, who's he going to be playing for? And doesn't it make sense for the Angels to get something for him rather than just watching him go?
Absolutely. You can make a strong baseball argument that, yes, they should take advantage of the market, especially with Trout being hurt, with their team not playing well, with them drifting back in the standings. I will tell you that last year, the Angels front office did its due diligence and gathered all the information about what potentially you could get for Ohtani in a trade. And when that was presented to Artie Moreno, what I've been told is Artie went crazy. Like, what are you thinking about? We're not going to trade that guy. He was furious at his front office for gathering that information. And I got to say, I really think that's what we're going to see happen this year, because Artie Moreno, yes, he wants to re-sign Ohtani in the fall. When he hits the open market, he probably is aware that he's going to have some stiff competition from the Dodgers and from the Giants and from the Mets and other teams. But I think big picture, I don't think Artie Moreno wants his legacy to be built around the idea that he delivered Ohtani out of town. If Ohtani walks away as a free agent, that's one thing, but in the fall. But it's a whole other thing to say, yeah, we got these 3 prospects for him, and that made our baseball operations better. That would take a lot of guts. I don't think Artie Moreno's got it.
Buster, obviously this is going to be one of the biggest, arguably the biggest move in free agency history across sports. It will never be a bigger deal than whatever Ohtani is going to sign. Should teams be concerned about the longevity of a deal for a guy who hits and pitches and sort of the unknowns around the wear and tear on his body in the future?
There's no doubt about it. And they were concerned about that when he, first came to Major League Baseball. But Ohtani, this is Ohtani's vision. It has been since he was a teenager. And let me give you some numbers for this year. Right now, Ohtani's on pace to finish this year with 178 innings as a pitcher. In the way the Angels have, and we're going to follow him and hope it lasts as long as possible. And let's face it, I think from a very reasonable side, as you argue about whether you're going to offer $500 million or $600 million or maybe more than that, you can say that Ohtani, unlike any other player, has a built-in insurance policy, because if he gets hurt as a pitcher, guess what? You still have one of the best sluggers in baseball.
All right, I want to make a case before we let you go, and you tell me if I'm an idiot, because I'm not. I haven't been a huge baseball guy really until the last few years. But just looking at the sport, I'm looking around and seeing teams full of young guys, like the Orioles, the Braves are young, the Reds, even the Diamondbacks, and I'm seeing teams that in years past would not have succeeded, and I'm seeing teams that spent a lot of money, the Mets, the Padres, the Yankees, even the Dodgers, be a little disappointing. And I'm wondering, is that a one-year blip, or is there something about young players now to where they get ready earlier, the way baseball deals are structured, where you have control over a player through the age of 27, 28, 29, which can be his prime, that, like, it's becoming a sport that isn't quite as sort of differentiated because of those changes, or is it a one-year blip?
I think you're onto something. And I never forget last fall when we prepared for these new rules that they put in place for this year, talking with baseball executives and asking them, hey, which teams are best suited to play under these new rules? And so many mentioned teams like the Rays, where they felt like, you know what, the game's going to be faster, it's going to require more athleticism, and that's absolutely in keeping with a recent trend in the sport where your teams are calling up players sooner because they're going for, speed and for pure power. Pitchers, what they value more than ever is max velocity and swing and miss. And it's not surprising that two of the teams, with that in mind, it's not surprising that two of the teams that have really struggled this year, the Mets and the San Diego Padres, to meet expectations, are two of the older teams. I mean, literally, you hear stories about the older Mets starting pitchers struggling with the pitch clock, in part to their conditioning, and they're not used to that pace. The young generation is used to it; they've adapted to it. And front offices, I think, are becoming accustomed to the idea of, you know what, the guy looks good, he's 20 years old, we're putting him right in the big leagues. Because some of the best big leaguers are some of the youngest big leaguers, like Ellie De La Cruz, like Corbin Carroll.
And it also seems like the rules change worked, didn't they, here at the halfway point, Buster? The pitch clock, the base running, I see it with the Reds. It's just like the game is so much more exciting. It seems like these rules were successful.
Now, you can find pockets of players and staffers who will gripe about the new rules. They feel like that the enforcement of them can vary from umpiring crew to umpiring crew. But big picture, I don't know how anybody can criticize it when you look at the metrics. Attendance is up by about 8%. TV ratings are up. People are watching the game longer. I've got my, one-person focus group and my 19-year-old son, Jake, who loves sports. But in the past, I'd ask him, hey, you want to watch a game with me? No, it's too slow. He's not missing pitches now. He's watching games from beginning to end because you actually have a pace. Look, Rob Manfred has made mistakes during his time. His whole handling of the Astros sign-stealing thing was a disaster, in my opinion. But I don't think you can do anything but give Major League Baseball Manfred kudos for these rule changes they put in. They have absolutely hit it out of the park.
Masroni, ESPN Major League Baseball insider, who'll be part of the Home Run Derby on Monday. Thank you very much for the time. Great stuff as always.
All right, guys. Good to talk with you.
There you go. Look at all this baseball talk, Myron. You used to have to pull my hair out with a tweezer to make me want to talk about baseball. And now it's fun. So there you go. We're going to deal. It's time to take our pick. We will let you know what you should pick in the games today and in the Home Run Derby. That's next here on Matt and Myron on ESPN Radio.
Greeny. If you put pineapple on a pizza, you are welcome to enjoy it if you choose to. But just be aware.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Keep a little talking to, man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. Now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Victor Ray, this is Scorpion 23 traveling west on MSR Vernon. 4 Victor, 16 packs. Request MSR status over. Roger. Scorpion 23, all MSRs and AOR red past 24 hours. 3 IEDs on MSR
In war, there will always be casualties. And for our wounded warriors, coming home can sometimes be a battle in itself. American troops who suffer traumatic injuries need the support of every American. Join us and find out how your donation can make a difference in the lives of our wounded warriors and their families at USO.org. The USO, until everyone comes home.
I'm 4 years old, and I'm the only one in my whole class that can tie his own shoes. My mom took me to the circus for my birthday. Half my friends already went, but now I've gone too. Most kids make fun of me because I still believe in the Tooth Fairy. But I got $5 yesterday, I believe.
A third of the kids in my 8th grade class drink alcohol regularly. Over 99% of my class has been offered illegal drugs. Half of my college classmates binge drink, abuse drugs, or do both. But the frequent dinners I had with my family have helped make sure I'm not one of them.
Go to CasaFamilyDay.org. Take the Family Day Pledge and get tips on how to talk to your kids about drugs and alcohol. Have dinner with them often, and you can significantly lower their risk of substance abuse. Dinner makes a difference. A message from the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse at Columbia University.
You're listening to San Antonio's ESPN 1250.
Play ball.
The home of the World Series.
It is Sunday morning here, Matt and Myron on ESPN Radio. Presented by Progressive. Sunday morning is presented by Progressive, and it offers a great price on around-the-clock protection with bundling home and auto.
You can get those rare times when you can save money and get something great. That is rare, and it can happen when you bundle today at Progressive.com. It was much better written on that one, Myron.
Yeah, it was.
So I felt like the delivery was much smoother. It is now time, as we end every show on Sunday morning, to take our pick.
Take your pick.
You take your pick. It's time to take your pick on Sunday morning.
All right, here's what we do. We take events to come up, and we pick them. Mikey, you let us know what we're picking.
All right, we're going to start with Monday's Home Run Derby. I'll give you the matchups, and you guys tell me who you think is going to advance. You want to do it that way?
Let's do it.
All right, first matchup. Luis Robert Jr. of the White Sox against Adley Rutschman from the Orioles.
Who you got, Myron?
The Orioles are a great story. You know, they've really overcome sort of the idea of like what a super
Talk
team.
in your microphone there. That way people will be able to hear you better.
I said, can you hear me now?
Yes, that's much.
I said,
usually that helps in radio.
That does help. The Orioles have been a great story, kind of going against the super team concept and having to spend millions and millions of dollars to be good. Adley Rutschman has been a breath of fresh air. He's allowed people to not only think about this year, but looking toward the future with some of the young talent that the Orioles have. I like Adley to win this one.
You want to know why I'm picking Luis Robert? Because I love that name. It's
Okay.
Luis and then Robert.
Yeah.
Robert's like the most boring name in the world. And I feel like every time I see him hit, he looks like a guy who's going to hit it far. So give me Luis Robert to beat the guy from the Orioles. What's next?
All right. Former champ Pete Alonso from the Mets versus the hometown favorite Julio Rodriguez.
Always pick the hometown guy, Myron. The hometown gets into it. They start chanting. The adrenaline runs through the veins, and then they hit it. Give me Julio and the Mariners.
Give me Pete Alonso. Here's what I like about Pete Alonso and what I think makes him the guy to beat. He really loves the Derby. Like, you know, it's something about a guy who enters it and really enjoys it. I think this matters to him. Guy's 25 home runs this year. Obviously, the Mets have had their struggles. But I think winning this is a badge of honor for him. He'll take it seriously. He gets the pacing. Hometown guys sometimes get caught up in the crowd. Give me Pete Alonso here.
Wow, we're disagreeing on both. All right, what about the next one?
All right, I think this is probably on paper the most marquee matchup of them all. Mookie Betts versus Vlad Guerrero Jr.
All right, Myron, what do you got?
Guys like Mookie Betts are great in games, you know, has a great swing. But Vlad Guerrero Jr. is made for this. He's got the power. He's got the swing. Because remember, a lot of this is endurance, Matt. It's not just who can hit the ball the furthest. It's can you do it over and over and over again. And that's where I think the physicality matters. Vlad Guerrero is going to have Jr. is going to have the advantage there. But I'm sure Mookie Betts will make it fun, too.
Vlad Guerrero's a showman. He's kind of like The Rock. You know, The Rock wasn't the greatest professional wrestler of all time, but he was the best showman. And that's what Vlad is. He likes the stage. He comes up. He's into it. He likes the moment. I'm with you. I'm taking Vlad. Mookie Betts is fine, but he's no Vlad in an event like this. Give me Vlad Jr. Who's next?
And finally, the matchup that nobody's heard of, Adolis Garcia versus Randy Arozarena from Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I don't know who these people are. So it's where does Garcia play?
He's with the Rangers.
And the other guy plays for Tampa Bay?
Yep.
I am not sure that I have ever remembered a player that played for Tampa Bay.